Unfortunately, most of us have been building our websites the wrong way. I'm talking about how we lay out the content and it causes performance problems. The good news is it's an easy fix in order to optimize our page layouts, and Google will love you for it when you're doing a speed test on your website. It's going to give you much higher scores when you build it out the right way. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'm going to show you how to do it inside of Elementor as well as inside of Gutenberg. It's not that hard to do once you know how to do it the right way. So if you want to have a faster website, better performance for your website videos, then this is the video for you. Welcome to the channel where you can find WordPress tutorial videos for non-techies, and we're going to make this one very non-techie friendly and easy to follow. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. First, I'm going to show you how to do this inside of Elementor. So I'll go into an Elementor page that I have set up right here, Performance Elementor, and I'll click on Edit with Elementor. And what we're talking about is using a property called inline, and that's how we're going to lay out the elements on our page. So the reason the DOM size of your page is humongous, or let's just say the performance is worse on your page, is because there's too many containers being used to house the elements to get the layout effects that you are looking for. So here is a very typical layout that you might want as part of your page, where you might have something on the left and you'll have something on the right. Now, in this example, you see I have a heading, and on the right, I have an image here. Now, we typically make this the wrong way. And let me show you how most people tend to do it. We would go here, we would create a new section, and for the structure, we would make it be 2 columns. So already we have 3 different containers. We have the main container, and then we have 2 columns. And then what we would do is we would drop whatever in here, our heading, and then over on the right, we would go ahead and drop our image. This is the wrong way to do it, because we're creating way more containers than we need to create. Now, this is a basic example. Let me show you how you should do this to optimize your page and use less containers. I'm going to get rid of that. So instead of using 2 columns, I'll use 1. And this is a basic example. You can have a more complex layout that I'll show you later that you reduce into 1 container like this. So I'm going to go ahead and accomplish the same thing. I will go ahead and add a heading, and then I'm going to go ahead and add an image underneath it. And for this image, I'll choose 1. It doesn't really matter the image that I choose. There we go. And so we need to now get this to be side by side in this 1 container. Let me show you how you do that. In each of these Elementor elements, I'll click on this one and I'll go into the advanced settings. There's another option here that says positioning. And when you expand that, for the width, it says default. We'll change this to inline. And you can see now that fine, thin blue box is now just around the space that this heading's taking. And we do the same thing for image. I'm going to click on image. I'll go to advanced. I'll click on positioning. And for width, I'm going to choose inline. And you can see we've already started to make this layout. We have both at the same height inside of a single container. So next, what we need to do is separate this out, spread it out how we would want it. You'll go into the column options right here on the top left. And for the horizontal align, we have options, space between, so that separates them both to the side. We have space around, so there's a little bit of space around both of these elements, and space evenly. So you typically would probably want the space between, and then we want to align vertically, probably in the middle like that. So now we've essentially created this more complex section, except we have far fewer container elements being used, less code being generated, and it's going to result in a much more optimized page. Now, the good news is if you're using Gutenberg, it's actually much easier and you're going to be able to accomplish much more complex layouts using this method. So here, let me go to pages and then we'll go to the same thing I made here, Performance Gutenberg. And then let me just show you right here. So right here, I have a grid of 6 different, you can call them feature boxes, highlight boxes, info boxes, whatever boxes you want to call it. We have those right here. And this entire bit right here is all in a single container, yet I have, it visually looks like there's multiple columns going on and maybe even multiple sections. So I'll show you how to do that, as well as what I just showed you in order to have, instead of using 2 columns, you can spread it out like this. But there's a ton of use cases for this. So let's go ahead and go on Edit Page. It's just so much easier. So let me go ahead and here, I'm going to just copy this right here, but then I'm going to delete out everything so you can see exactly how I did this. All right, and we'll delete this out like that. So first I'll show you the basic example, which was the text on one side and the image on the other. So for this, you'll need to use the Cadence Blocks plugin. Don't worry, it's completely free. You can just go to Plugins, Add New, and do a search for it. Now, most of the Gutenberg add-on packages do not have this as an option currently. Who knows about the future, but currently they just don't. So let me show you how to do this. So I'm going to add a row to my page. I can go here and here's the row layout, or just search for row, and there it is. And remember, I'm not going to do the 2 columns. I'm just going to do the 1 like that. Let me click on it. And now I've got this 1 column. Next, I'll add a heading. So I can just search for heading. And there it is. Let me type something in. Okay, next I'm going to add an image. So I'll go here, and here is the image block. And I'll choose it from the media library. This is actually here. Let me get something like that. That's fine. And we're at the same spot right here. Now let me show you how to get these set to inline. It's actually so much easier. So I'm going to expand what's called the navigator, and you can click on the 3 lines here in the top left, and then there it is. I want to click on section, and that's where all of my items are. So you want to be in the section settings, and we'll be looking at the section settings here on the right. So instead of having to click into each individual thing and change it, in this, we just need to go to the section settings. And here's the option, inner block direction. It's set to vertical, so it's going to stack everything vertically, but I can change this to horizontally just like that. You can see it's a lot easier than with Elementor. And then we can space it out so we can do something custom here if we wanted. I'm not going for that. I'm going to go where it says justify content, and we have a lot of those same options. So if I wanted that space between, I could just go like that, and I get the space between, the same effect I was getting there with Elementor. And we have space around, and we have space evenly. We have all of these options right there, but that was so much easier to accomplish than inside of Elementor. It's my only gripe with Elementor. They should have made this a lot easier. So now let me show you how to get a more advanced grid that I showed you. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to add a row, and I'm going to do that grid where there was 3 visually looked like there was 3 columns, and there was 2 of these icon feature boxes in each one. So I'm going to go right there, and I now have just 1 container. Let me show you how easy this is. So I'm going to go to paragraph, and I copied it in my clipboard. So there it is. I have what's called the info box. It's another one of the free blocks that comes with the Cadence block package, all free. So here it is, and it includes, I can put an icon if I wanted, but I've got a title and I've got some text here. And there's lots of cool things that you can do with this as well if you wanted to. Now there's one thing that I set on this where it says container settings. I set this to be a width of 300. So if I wanted this wider or more narrow, I can specify exactly how wide that needs to be right here. And I just went with 300. So now let me go ahead and duplicate this 6 times. So I'm going to paste it in like that, and I'll just do this real quick. All right, there we have it. We have one container and there's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops, I think I got 7 in there. Oh well, we'll see what happens with that. So they're all in the same section. So if I go back to my navigator by clicking here, you can see I have a row with a section and I have all of these info boxes. I think I have one too many. Let me just click on this and then click on delete. Actually, does that work like that? Let's see here. I'll have to do it this way. That's fine. I'm going to remove that block. There we go. So now I'm going to go to my section settings. I can get rid of the navigator. And I'm going to go here and switch it from vertical to horizontal. And you can see I already have them all visually how I want it. The only thing is I would justify the content to do the space between like that. And what would normally have all of these containers, I was very quickly able to do with a single container. And that's pretty much the gist to it. You saw it's so much easier with the Gutenberg block package from Cadence Blocks, no cost, there's no upsells or anything like that, than it is in Elementor. If Elementor was watching this video, I think they should make this a lot more obvious and a lot more easy for users and not have it be tied to each individual element. I like, or at least just have another option where I can just click one button like you saw with the Cadence blocks. I literally clicked, actually it was 2. I clicked 1 to set it up that way and then 1 to choose the spacing, and that was it. It was very simple to do, and ultimately, if we're going to do this the right way, we want it very simple to do, very simple to set up and accomplish. Then we're more likely to set up our websites this way. Now, I showed you just a very basic use case for this, and there's so many more. Just a simple thing of having an image next to a name and have those be side by side. You're going to be able to use these settings to optimize what would normally take up so much more code, would generate so much more code. Now you're going to be able to do it much more leaner and much better for your website visitor, as well as Google, which is looking at your website. So if you could do something for me right now is give this video a thumbs up. That's going to help more people that are building website layouts see this video and see where they might have been getting this wrong. Now, let me tell you, in the beginning of the video, I said it's not your fault. It's not my fault. Well, you saw in Elementor, they kind of make it hard to see that this is even an option. It's very non-obvious. So it's not your fault. And the option wasn't always there for Elementor. Cadence Blocks recently added this option, and I'm so glad that they did. And that's why they could probably learn from the mistakes of Elementor and make it a lot more obvious for folks. So this really wasn't an option, and it's not commonly available in any of the Gutenberg block packages or Gutenberg block builder by itself. So not your fault. It's not my fault. But now that we have the right tools, let's do things the right way so that we can delight the people that visit our website. Thank you for watching this video. Please give it the thumbs up. And if you have a question about it, feel free to ask down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.